Good morning, church. It's good to see you. It's Friday, and I'm excited to send you a little video sharing some of the stuff we're going to be doing on Sunday. I'm really excited about this sermon. This is my last sermon before I become a full elder in the United Methodist Church. So it's one that kind of feels like a milestone to me. But before I get into the sermon, there's other things that are happening on Sunday. First of all, we'll be releasing our next edition of the newsletter, and it looks great. And it's got so many wonderful opportunities represented in it, and some reports about what the church has been doing over the past few months. One of the things I'm particularly excited about is it announces 2 book studies for the summer. One is going to be taking place on Sunday mornings at the adult Sunday school hour, but it's open to everyone. And we've purchased a lot of these books to share with you. It's called Building Beloved Community, The Courage to Love in the Face of Tyranny. This book was written by the Council of Bishops, all the bishops in the United Methodist Church. But I happen to know that our bishop, Bishop Ken Carter, had a central role in putting this book together. And so I think that makes it even more special to me. But I hope that we're able to reach out to the bishop and let him know that we're reading the book, and we can even ask him some questions and receive some encouragement from the bishop's office as we study that. The other book we're going to be studying is not really a book, it's a letter. It's a letter that was published about a month ago by Pope Leo, called an encyclical. You've probably heard a little bit about this. It's a letter that is, it's a long letter, so it reads like a book, but it's a letter that addresses some of our concerns of how do we live our Christian witness in light of recent phenomena like the emergence of artificial intelligence. The book is partly about artificial intelligence, but what it's really about is our call to be a witness in this world, to be a public witness for God's kingdom. How are we working in light of these new technologies to continue to build a world of justice, a world built on human flourishing? As soon as I read the Pope's letter, I read it on the plane ride back from England a few weeks ago, I thought this is something that everyone in our church needs to hear. At least this part about being a social witness, being a public witness for the kingdom of God, and for taking seriously our call to engage in public life, because these new technologies are not meaningless, and they do have an impact on how we live as human beings and how we build communities. This Sunday's sermon is an interesting one. Like I said, it has kind of a strange title. Last week's sermon was called The Gift We Want to Give. This week's sermon is called The Gift We Don't Want to Give. We all have gifts that I think we're called to give, but for whatever reason, we don't want to give them. We don't think we're good enough. We don't think that the gift will actually mean anything, that it'll work. Maybe we think we're too old. Maybe we think we're too young. Maybe we think we're too busy. We all have a lot of ways of saying, I don't want to get up in the morning and put my shoes on and go running, even though we know that we should. I do that all the time. What this sermon is going to help us understand is that there's a power not only in giving the gifts that we want to give, there's also a power to change us, to change the world when we give the gifts we don't want to give. I look forward to seeing you at the corner of Cone and Lafayette on Sunday. Thank you, and God's peace be with you all.